Nathaniel Bandy. Striving for originality.
Hey everyone, welcome to the Predicting Splatoon series. Today, we're going to talk about the single player, and we're also going to discuss additional ideas that I'd like to see in the sequel. Now before we get started, I'm not even going to bother discussing the story of Splatoon, because I've quite frankly never really been interested in it, and I'd rather not talk about something that I'm not that passionate about. So I found that Splatoon's single player was pretty short in length. On my first try, it took me around 5 hours to complete. Playing through the single player again with the amiibo took around 3 to 4 hours for each. So for starters, I'd like to see a longer campaign in the future, maybe something around 10 to 20 hours. Because otherwise, what's the point of having one if it's really going to be that short? Now, I think what could help Splatoon's campaign become a bit more immersive is if we saw more things to do, such as side missions. Now, these side missions could range from pretty much anything. It could be anything like, collect that thing, or maybe you have to be at a level in a certain time limit to unlock a secret level, or there could be some additional side missions where you have to complete really difficult puzzles. Now, for the campaign, I do understand why Nintendo only allowed us to use one weapon type at a time. They needed an incentive to sell the amiibo. Next time around though, please just let us swap out weapons in between missions. I mean, having to take out DJ Octavio was just a big pain in the butt using the sniper. It's just not a great weapon to use, and I shouldn't have been forced to use that weapon against the boss. At least in my experience. Maybe I'm just bad with snipers, but for that kind of boss, a shooter would have worked out just fine. Now, it would also be really awesome if you could play the new campaign with either local co-op and/or online co-op. Now, this co-op could be taken as friendly, or it could be competitive. As an example of competitive co-op missions, maybe what you'd have to do is to get through the map, but also try to spray the most ink everywhere and kill the most enemies. And just imagine how awesome it would be, being able to take on one of those huge bosses with a friend. Okay, so let's move on to some more miscellaneous details, starting with Callie and Mary at the beginning. Their whole sequence of them talking to us about the new maps is just way too overdrawn. I'd like to see their whole talking scheme condensed down into a simple notification next time. I just want to be able to load up Splatoon, get through the title screen, and see a notification pop up saying, hey, these are the new stages, there you go. Boom. Now that is of course if they still stick with the 4-hour stage cycles. If they do end up randomizing the matches like I hope they do in the sequel, then anything that they do in the future will kind of become irrelevant unless they gain new rules. Now, one thing that did get kind of annoying in multiplayer was whenever someone dropped out of the match, they weren't replaced with a computer player. And since that didn't happen, I have seen and played against teams where everyone dropped out but one person. Now when this happens, when there's just one or two of you on a team, you are completely screwed and hopeless. So please Nintendo, I'd really like to see computer players get replaced if someone accidentally drops out of the match. And honestly, usually it's because of connection problems. It would also be nice if everything is anti-aliased. If you look at some of the graphics, especially the ink, they do look a tad rough. Now, if you don't know what anti-aliasing is, well, it basically means to smooth out rough edges. Pay close attention to the ink next time you play, and you might see what I'm talking about. Now, I'd also like to see a larger variety of ink colors. There's only 8 in the first game, and I'd like to at least see different shades of these 8 different colors. Now, it is great that all these colors contrast with each other. It makes everything look fantastic when playing, but again, we still need to see more colors. Now, how awesome would it be if we could play as other characters besides just Inkling Boy and Inkling Girl? It would be awesome if we could play as an Octoling, or maybe Callie and Mary. And hey, maybe even brand new characters that they'll probably introduce to the sequel. Now, the only other thing that I can see them improving at this point is that loading times will be a lot faster, and that online matches will be less likely to crash. So that's all I've got for you guys. Honestly, I am super hyped for the sequel, and I just hope that a few of these predictions that I have made do end up coming true. Please feel free to like or dislike this video. The choice is completely yours, and don't forget, leave a comment. Do you have any other Splatoon ideas that I haven't mentioned throughout this entire series? Let me know below. I'd like to see some awesome discussions going on. And don't forget, hop on the bandwagon and follow my Facebook, Twitter, Twitch, and Tumblr. Thanks for watching, guys, and I really hope that you enjoyed this series. See you next time.